Radiometric dating, I love it. Okay. 1-1. Anybody want to read it?
Radiometric dating is a method of dating geological specimens by determining the proportions of particular radioactive isotopes present in a sample.
Right. Let me cite these out. Okay. 1-2. 1.2. Ricky, can you get that? Oh, sorry. Zach, want to get it? 1.2.
When scientists use radiometric dating, they use a mass spectrometer to analyze the isotopes present in the material, both of the old material and of the new decayed isotope. Using the unknown half-life of materials, for example, the half-life of carbon-14 is 6,000 years, scientists can compare how much of each type of isotope, the original isotope known as the parent and the decayed isotope known as the daughter isotope, is present in the material.
Okay. So basically how that works is they take like the known half-life, what they think it is, like carbon-14, so you give one that decays in about 6,000 years, according to scientists. So you guys called them out.
Yeah,
so
they're really
J, speciation. Seth, I think you're the one that wanted this one, so how are you reading it?
I'll read all of it.
Sure, read all of section 1, 1.1 and 1.2.
No.
Okay. Speciation is the biological process formation of species, pretty much the exact definition of evolution. Speciation does not explain the origin of time, space, matter, energy, or life, only the formation of species. Therefore, the speciation does not disprove intelligent design, nor is it evidence against intelligent design.
Okay, so basically speciation is biological process of forming species. You know how species formed, that's speciation. Pretty much just like evolution, I mean, it's how you form. So anyone want to read 2.1, 2.2, 2.3?
There are multiple species around the world that can crossbreed. Examples are the lion and tiger, the camel and the llama. I don't know what that is. The lamb. The potatoes and chili peppers. Zebra, horses, and donkeys. Zombie.
I've heard of that.
I saw a picture of the Zors.
Zors.
It's pretty crazy though. It is awesome.
Pretty cool.
There are many more examples of different species that can crossbreed.
Right, so how a creationist would explain this is, since, like I said earlier, there's so much extra information found in the DNA of different animals, like breeders have come to know that, you know, you can breed all these different kinds of dogs by choosing the information and breeding them like that. So what it's saying here is, since the camel and the llama can interbreed, potatoes and the peppers can interbreed, they may have had a common ancestor, but it wasn't a single-celled organism 3 billion years ago. It would have been whatever was on the ark. Okay? And then evolution, not evolution, it would be variations in the species happen after that, losing information, entropy, not gaining information, like macroevolution.
Were you serious about the potato and chili pepper?
Yeah.
What is it? What is it called?
You mean
What does
that
it look
animals
like?
and vegetables have the same ancestors?
What?
That's
No,
according,
no.
according to evolutionary thought, then yeah. According to evolutionists, hummingbirds, starfish, palm trees, humans, rats,
We're all the
potatoes,
same.
corn. We're all
I'm
distant cousins.
I'm related to that brick right there. That's my far distant cousin.
That's pretty legit.
Like,
It's a lie.
But it's not living.
Okay, so 3.1. Anyone want to read the 3?
What would it cost between a potato and a chili pepper?
I have no idea.
A chili-tato.
Yeah, it might be a red potato with a little
hot
ring.
potato.
It'd be like one of those just a big chunky peppers.
It might look like a tomato.
Maybe the tomato is the grandson of chili peppers.
There you go.
Maybe that's why tomatoes and potatoes sound so similar.
What does crossbreeding mean for speciation? According to the evolution theory, species should not be able to crossbreed shortly after it is considered a new species. Because of the various examples of animals separated by land and genes being able to reproduce, we can conclude that these animals must have had a common ancestor fairly recently. So they're like a period after it reproduced, and then
That's not mine.
Breed domesticated animals?
Is it kind of
It's
rather
a-
weird?
That's a.
Alright,
Hero.
domesticated animals contain a vast amount of reserved information which would allow them to create the various species and races we have today rapidly. For instance, there were only a handful of breeds of dogs in the 1600s, but today there are hundreds of different types of dogs. There we go. Changes can occur rapidly by means of microevolution, but no new information is ever obtained.
Pretty much what I've been saying for the last 10 minutes.
So, can I give an example I heard on the radio?
Sure.
Okay. They used cards. They said, take an old made deck, which is excluding some cards, and you shuffle it up, and pull out your hand. It's only going to be the cards that are in the old made deck. You shuffle it up, draw out a hand again. You can get different cards, but they're still the ones in the old made deck. You're not going to get the ones that are in a regular deck of cards. Never going to get the ones in the regular deck of cards, although you could get other different types that are in your original old made deck of cards.
What radio station was the WBCL?
No, I don't remember what it was.
Talk about it.
24/7.
Okay. So now we go over to section H. I'm just going to go through the 0.1 seconds quick. This is about microevolution. Microevolution is a variation within a species. Information is not added in these changes, but lost or rearranged. Microevolution is used to refer to changes in the gene pool of a population over time, which result in relatively small changes to the organisms in the population. Changes which would not result in the newer organisms being considered a different species. Examples of such microevolution changes would include a change in a species' coloring or size. Forest trees are a good example of microevolution. In polluted environments, the surviving trees have fewer alleles than in non-polluted ones. Microevolution formation of races is a fact. Populations adapt to specific environments, with the more successful alleles increasing in numbers and others declining in frequencies and disappearing altogether. Changes can also occur due to accidental loss of alleles, genetic drift, in small isolated populations, but both amount to decline in genetic information. Macroevolution requires its increase. That's a lot of big words, basically saying whenever you notice, like a lot of the examples for evolution in the textbooks, you're not gaining any information. It's just being rearranged, like he said, the main decks or lost. So would someone like to read the two sections?
Dogs breed all different kinds of dogs, but the end result is always a dog. There has never been any exception to that. When you breed a new kind of dog, information is lost or scrambled, never gained. If we release all the chihuahuas into the wild, how long would they survive? They would run up to a wolf and say, yip, 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 and the wolf would step on it and it would sound like this, crunch.
That's a great Ken Hogan quote.
Farmers breed pigs to get them fatter and better tasting. That would do the complete opposite of help the animal in the wild, and so nature would not select that trait anyway. How is that evidence for evolution? If anything, the animal would be hunted and killed faster than the others because its weight would make it slower and its taste would make it more desirable to a predator.
But if the fact that it can be bred that way,
What?
wouldn't that be evolved?
Not
Even
exactly.
if it's not
Not
supposed to be?
You mean like if it evolved differently in nature? Like
No, I meant just that it's still able to be.
well, yeah, but that goes back to like the what section says it? How there's a lot more information in the genome, which all that extra information, that's how you can make it bigger and taste better and all that. You know, with what you feed it, and just all the information and everything. The information's already there. You're not changing the pig at all. It's a microevolutionary change. It's a variation of the same species. Like you could do that 100 times. It's always going to be a pig, and you're never going to get a pig the size of the school building. I mean, it's got limits. The information eventually runs out. So, does that answer your question?
No, I was just asking it because the question, how is that evidence for evolution? I mean,
Oh.
it would be able to evolve that way. I mean, not really.
Oh. I see what you're saying.
Microevolution.
Yeah. It is possible to breed horses and make them faster, but you will never have anything other than a horse.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yep. So, someone want to read the 3?
I got it.
Okay.
You can breed horses to be faster. There will never be a horse that can run at the speed of light. You can breed pigs to be bigger. There will never be a pig the size of Greenland. You can breed corn to taste better. There will never be an ear of corn that tastes like a flaming.
Like a flaming
Flamiano.
What's that?
Isn't it filet mignon?
Yeah, you spelled it.
I thought I did,
That's all.
because I looked it up on YouTube, and it was one of those, like, little kid videos that came up.
Why would
So I'm
you
like, that's not...
Why would you name
Yeah.
I wanted to know what a flaming mignon was, but...
It's not flaming neon.
Alright, 3.4.
Let's go ahead.
Anyway.
Some insects develop immunities to insecticides. There will never be an insect immune to a hammer.
Oh,
I get it. That's funny.
A hammer is completely different than insecticide.
Exaggerations here. But, then we're going to go right over to the next section, which is macroevolution. I'll just go through this real quick. Macroevolution is the process of changing one species to another over time. Macroevolution does not work. That's an easy section. Macroevolution is not the same as microevolution. Microevolution includes the decline of genetic information, whereas macroevolution would require an increase of genetic information. Macroevolution is not observable and cannot be tested. In order for macroevolution to work, there must be an abundance of beneficial mutations, and natural selection must work properly. See section 2B. In order for macroevolution to work, the Earth must be at least several billion years old, but it is not. Section N. You can do that if you feel like it tomorrow when you're on email or something. Evolutionists assume that the Earth is billions of years old. Evolutionists assume that order can come from chaos when the opposite is observed. Evolutionists assume that mutations can amount to something. The processes would take too long to test. And evolutionists assume that creationists are ignorant and stupid, so they do not publish their work in scientific journals, which goes along with what you said, that video that you told me about, which is, I recommend it to anybody who wants to know more about that. It's called Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed. It's a pretty good one on how creationists are silenced in the scientific community. Not allowed to publish in peer-reviewed journals or anything. Looks like we're, what?
Make our own journal.
Creationists have. We're just not allowed to do it in peer-reviewed ones. So we're out of time for today, so we're just going to listen to Devin sing.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
We'll do some more next